Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, I am sorry that I am 2 minutes late. I will tell you that. While I was in Italy last week on the Elite 10 trip, I broke my tripod, and so I can't record my stuff on my phone, so I'm sort of waiting for my new tripod to come in the mail. So, with that being said, I'm doing this video from my computer, which you can now stream live video. So hopefully you guys are seeing this okay. If you can just kind of give me some comments down below just to let me know that everything is working. Good morning. Hi, Rachel. All right, so I am back from the Elite 10 Beachbody trip. One of my favorite things that I get to do as a Beachbody coach. This was actually my fourth top 10 trip that I have gotten to participate on. And I am going to tell you that it is just such an amazing experience to be spoiled like that, to go on a first class trip, but also because I really feel like never in a million years would I have imagined that I would be spending time in beautiful places like Capri and the Amalfi Coast with other really successful entrepreneurs that have built great online businesses, with the vice presidents of the company. I just feel so blessed to have that opportunity. And I know that, just from sitting around and talking to each of the coaches that were on that trip and their spouses, they're no different than any of us, right? I'm no different than you listening to this call right now. I can tell you that it's hard work, it's hustle, it is focus, it's intentionality, it's remaining coachable, it is evolving, it is personal development and personal growth and not being afraid to fail. And as I was sitting there and I was listening to everybody's stories from the past week, just really hit me. We all have stuff that has happened to us, life experiences, good or bad. We all have current stuff that we are maybe going through, but we make a choice. We make a choice to focus on the things that are going to get us to the goal we want to accomplish instead of the things we cannot change. We're not looking in the rearview mirror and analyzing the past and getting stuck on the failures that have happened, but instead we're looking forward to the opportunities, to the new things that are coming down the pipeline, to the new potential opportunities for growth. We're growing ourselves as leaders, and none of us were leaders coming into Beachbody coaching. We all took that initiative ourselves and said, we understand that in order to grow a substantial business that earns you a great income, you have to learn to grow a team. You can only go so far with commissions, but growing a team is really where you begin to maximize those opportunities. It's where you begin to grow. And I've done that through John Maxwell, through Tony Robbins, through Brendan Burchard and Chalene Johnson, and just reading books, Simon Sinek, Gary Vaynerchuk, just making sure that I'm always coachable, that I'm always innovative, that I'm always staying accountable to the things that I want in life. And I started this business when my babies were little. There's 6 months and 2 years, and I've seen these ups and downs and these great strides in the Beachbody business. And I've also seen some flat times where business didn't grow as fast as it did at the beginning. But the one thing I can tell you is, got to keep your eye on the prize. You got to keep yourself focused forward. You got to keep yourself focused on the outcome and knowing your outcome and not getting distracted by the shiny objects, because we know that they exist, and we know that there are going to be things that are going to creep in and distract you. And so today we're going to talk about excuses that steal your time, because that's just it. Not achieving your goal or not, coming up with an excuse is just that. An excuse is your validation for why something didn't happen. An excuse is basically you saying that it's not my priority. Right? And so we're going to talk about a few things today that I learned from an author. Her name is Christy Wright. I don't know if you guys saw, I posted a couple of weeks ago about the Business Boutique. She wrote an amazing book called The Business Boutique. Love it. And I got to listen to her speak at Entre Leadership. Time management is one of the things that I feel like we all, as entrepreneurs, as how many of you are stay-at-home parents, how many of you work another job and are building your network marketing business right now, right? We all wear many hats. And I know that for me, I wanted to achieve a level of success, and excuses couldn't be a part of my life. And so I want you to sort of catch yourself, as I'm going through this presentation, and ask yourself, do I do any of these things? So the first excuse that people say to themselves is, I don't have time, right? We all say to ourselves, I don't have time. And the truth is this, guys, we all have the same 24 hours in the day, right? Time is never, you're never going to have 25 hours. You're always going to have 24 hours in the day. And you have to take control of your time by being responsible for your time, right? We don't have a time problem. We have a priority problem. And one of the things that I have learned, this is not Melanie being born this way, but I've learned to become disciplined and responsible for my time. How many of you get on social media and you just start scrolling? Facebook, if you ever timed yourself at how much time you waste scrolling the news feed, Christy Wright shared some really awesome statistics. She said the average American spends 9 years of their life watching TV. The average woman spends 8 hours a day shopping, right? And 1 year of their life, or 8 years of their life shopping, and 1 year trying to decide what to wear. All right? It's not about having time. It's about the priorities that places you're choosing to focus on. So one of the things that I did as a new business owner was I got very clear on the outcome. I knew that I wanted to earn, for example, enough money to pay cash for Christmas. I knew that that meant that I actually had to acquire customers, I had to close sales, I had to invite people, I had to grow my network, I had to do the work, which meant I needed to look at the 24 hours that I did have and find time. Being a full-time stay-at-home mom, raising 2 small children, cleaning, cooking, laundry, upkeeping the house, doing all of the things that I needed to do, I didn't have time. I already felt like I was busy. But building my business and achieving a certain level of financial comfort was so important to me, it became a priority. So I chose to cut out the TV. I stopped watching, TV at night, hours of TV. I stopped watching soap operas. I stopped watching, Regis and Kelly in the morning and Rachel Ray. Those were the things that I used to do. I stopped hitting snooze 4 or 5 times. I stopped getting on social media and scrolling the news feed, and I began to become very mindful of how I was going to spend my time. When that alarm went off, I said, I'm up. I'm up. I am willing to do what other people are not willing to do now so that I can have what other people wish they could have, 2 years from now. And I thought, what's an hour of sleep right now in my life? My kids are little. This is the quiet time that I do have. I need to be disciplined. I got to drink that extra cup of coffee and I have to get to work. And when I opened the lid to my computer, my laptop, I would say to myself, do not scroll Facebook, Melanie. Get right to work. Pull out your list. Who do you need to invite? Who do you need to follow up with? Who do you need to check in with? And it began to become this thing where I began to create a sense of urgency for myself. I became acutely aware of when I was wasting time and when I was being productive. Take control of your time. Another thing that was very helpful to me was I created a schedule for myself. Even though my schedule was a little unpredictable, I was working off of nap times and dinner times and other people's schedules, but I started to create these parameters within my chaotic life. And I started to say, all right, things that I can control is that every day at 2 o'clock, I can make sure that I'm home for nap time. Both boys can go down for quiet time or a nap in their room at 2 o'clock, and I can immediately get on my computer and do productive business building time. And so I began to create that every single day, right? 7 days a week, every single day we're home at 2 o'clock. I may get in an hour some days I get in 2 hours. But I created that system for myself, and I created time. Where I used to work out, now I was getting up in the morning. I was getting my workout in. Instead of sitting on the floor and scrolling Instagram for 20 minutes, I put the DVD in and I pressed play right away. At night when the boys went to bed, instead of watching a half-hour TV show, I got to work right away. I did my half hour of work or 45 minutes of focused time, and then I watched a TV show at the end of the evening, if that is what I choose to do. But I began to say to myself, I have the same 24 hours in a day. How do I be productive? How many of you drive in the car? I used to listen to the radio for 45 minutes to work, 45 minutes back from work. I used to listen to, the radio when I would drive to visit my family. Now I listen to podcasts. I listen to audio books. I talk to my team members. I talk to prospective customers. While I'm cleaning my house, I don't have the radio on. I'm listening to personal development. I've taken the 24 hours that I do have and said, how can I jam as many things that are going to grow me as a person into those 24 hours so that I can maximize the time that I do have? Make sense? Aha. So what are you guys going to do? You're going to download Audible. You're going to download the podcast app. You're going to get yourself some earbuds and you're going to become more productive. All right, the next thing is this. You don't prioritize your schedule. You schedule your priorities. Stephen Covey said that. Let me say that again. Don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities. What are your priorities? And I do believe our priorities will change. Look, one of the things that we think about as we're going through life is how many of you have mom guilt? I had a lot of mom guilt as a new coach. And when I was building my business, I was beginning to think to myself, I'm spending so much time on my business and not enough time with my kids. And one of the things that I've learned along the way is that 8 hours of trying to spend time with my children and building my business is not giving any one person the best of me. No, my kids aren't getting the best of me, and my business isn't getting the best of me, because when I'm with my kids, I'm thinking about my business. And when I'm doing my business, I'm thinking about how guilty I feel because I should be spending time with my children. And so I've learned to say to myself, 1 hour or 2 hours of 100% phone in the drawer, phone on silent, computer closed, notifications turned off, playing games with the boys or swimming in the pool or taking a walk or going on a bike ride is better than 8 hours of me trying to do both. Hiring a babysitter for 2 hours a day was more productive use of my time so that I could, when I was done with those 2 hours, now go spend time with my family. And I learned that I don't need to feel guilty. Our children essentially only need a small period of our time to be happy and fulfilled. They want to know that when they're spending time with you, that they're the only person that matters. In the end, I want you to think about the life you're creating for them and the role model that you are by setting those boundaries and that example and showing them that they can build any kind of business that they want and they can have the best of both worlds. The next excuse we give to ourselves is that everything is important, right? If everything is important, oh my gosh, right? Then nothing's really important. Everything's not created equal, guys, right? Priorities are not all created equal. And you have to create a hierarchy of your priorities, and then you have to delegate your time in that area. So laundry to me is not a priority. Laundry is not going to make me money. I need to delegate laundry to my 6 and 8-year-old right now. They need to learn how to fold socks. They can learn how to fold their shirts. They can put their laundry away at this point in time, right? I delegated hiring a cleaning lady every other week because it made no sense for me to spend 4 hours cleaning my house or an hour or 2 hours cleaning my house when somebody else could do that I could pay them minimum wage and I could be earning X amount of money towards our future. And I learned that things like that, those are the first things I delegated long before I was ever successful. Also, other things may seem important, like, okay, everybody is on Snapchat or everybody is doing a blog or a website, and for you, you're thinking to yourself, well, man, I'm doing awesome on Facebook, and I'm really getting a lot of traction, and I'm hitting Success Club, and I'm getting referrals from other people. The minute you say to yourself, I need to make making a website a priority because so-and-so and so-and-so is doing it. You begin to shift your priorities in a way that doesn't ultimately benefit you the most. So remember, create your hierarchy. What are the activities, the things that are the best use of your time that you should be spending your time on? If it is to grow a team, if it is to achieve a rank, if it is to achieve an income, what are going to be the activities that you need to do where they're going to place a higher priority on those things than others? So let me give you an example of this. When I was starting out as a new coach, I wanted to build my blog, but I knew that a blog was not going to bring me immediate income. I knew that it was going to be something that was going to build momentum and compound effect in the background, but I knew that in order for me to create sales and hit my Success Club goals and to get new coaches, I needed to be actively talking to people, making my posts, following up, adding new contacts. So the first thing I did in my day, the first 20 minutes of my day were connecting, inviting, following up. And then when I got those things done because they were actually ranked higher, then from there, I could write a blog post or I could make a live video. Do you see what I mean? So we have a hierarchy of all things that are important, but some are going to take over for others. All right. Also, you're in high demand. You're in high demand as a coach, as a parent, maybe, as a coworker, as a daughter, as a mother, as a sister, as a caretaker. You're in high demand. But I want you to ask yourself something. What are the only things that you can do? What are the only things that you could do? I'm the only one that can do this live video right now, right? I'm the only one that can mentor my coaches and can do one-on-one calls. I'm the only one that can host my team call on Monday night, right? I don't have a double. Those are things only I can do. But there are things that somebody else can do, and most likely an assistant can do them better. So think about what are the things that somebody else can do that you can delegate to open up time for you to do the things that are going to be the most bang for your buck. And here's the thing, create that sense of urgency for you guys right now, right? Create that sense of urgency. Don't wait until you make X amount of money or reach X rank. Do it now, because time is one of those things that you can't wait, and you can't wait for the time to be right or the income to be there. All right, the third excuse is this: everyone steals my time. The only person stealing your time is you. You're the only person that can put things on your calendar. You're the person that allows things to creep into your life. When a friend calls you and says, you want to go have drinks after work today? But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, man, I really want to quit this stinking job. I hate this job. I really want this business to work. I really need to get home and do the things that are going to grow my business. Melanie tells me I should work hard. I should hustle now. I should delay instant gratification. But all of a sudden you find yourself sitting at the restaurant having a cocktail, which leads to 2 cocktails, which leads to you coming home and being exhausted, which leads to you eating that bag of chips, which leads to you feeling guilty about having those 2 drinks and now that bag of chips, and now you didn't do your invites, and now you don't feel confident inviting people because you don't feel like you're practicing what you're preaching. You're the person that allowed that cocktail hour to happen. But if you learn to say, no, thank you. If you learn to say, all right, I need to go home and do a few things. Can I meet you afterwards? Now you're in control of the calendar. If somebody asks you to do something, everything sounds like a great idea, but is it really the best use of your time? Is it something you should give yourself 24 hours to think about before you say yes or no? When push comes to shove, what's going to make the cut on that calendar? What is your outcome? You have the decision. You are the one with the ultimate power to say, yes, this deserves my time, or no, this doesn't. Doesn't mean you should cut out your friends. It doesn't mean you should cut out all of your free time, but you have to make a decision of what is going to be deserving at this exact moment. What is the most important thing for you in order to reach that goal? All right. Okay. So the fourth one is I have to do everything myself. Micromanaging deletes your time and demotivates the people around you. Guys, you've got to start respecting that time and saying no. You also have to start delegating. How many of you run groups and you do all the posts in the group? You schedule everything. You do all the team calls. You do all of the training. You know, you're the one that is taking responsibility for everything, but I guarantee you there is somebody capable in your organization around you that you can delegate to. Guys, you can't be so worried about doing it perfect. You have to say to yourself, right? You know, that's fear-based. That is fear-based living. Fear-based leadership is you saying, I'm the only one that can do this job. That does not empower your team. It does not empower your coaches. It does not empower your customers. You have to begin to say to yourself, I do not want to micromanage my team. I want to empower them. And I know that I have to get over myself and allow somebody else to take the lead. I have to be willing to mentor and guide other people so that they can begin to have success. I guarantee you, you will free up your time instantly if you begin delegating. The minute I started asking other people in my organization to be guest speakers on my Monday night team calls, it freed up 3 hours of my day that I was spending planning the PowerPoint and doing the slides and thinking about what I was going to say. 3 hours of my time was freed up that I could spend an hour and a half with my husband or my kids and an hour and a half doing something else. The minute I started delegating, auto-scheduling all of my challenge group posts, that freed up 3 hours on a Sunday for me to do something else that actually was a better use of my time, that was bringing me more income faster. All right, and the last one is this. It's the I'll do it later. The truth is, you're going to do the things that you make a priority. When you tell me that you're going to post about the business and you say, I'll do it this weekend when I have time, what you're really saying to me is it's just not a priority. I'm so afraid to fail. I'm afraid that other people are going to unfriend me. I don't really know what to say, and I'm just stinking scared to lead a team. When you tell me, I'll do it later, you're telling me it's not my priority. And I've learned to catch myself when I say I'll get to that. And I've learned to understand that, I keep making excuses for this. It's really not a priority for me. And I need to get better at putting the things that are going to bring me the most business first in my life. So now, each morning when I wake up, I eat that frog. I do the thing that I'm most fearful of because I know that it is going to be the thing that is going to grow me the most. Guys, our finish line is always moving. There's always going to be something new that comes up. There's always going to be something that is going to try to steal your time away from the things that you want in life. When it comes to creating balance, we have to focus on the quality over the quantity. When it comes, there's no such thing as a perfectly balanced life. It is about saying, in this exact moment, I'm 100% present. It is knowing that my children won't be home from baseball camp until 11 o'clock, and it is not doing laundry or watering my plants or getting that extra cup of coffee or calling my mom to have a chat. It is about the next 2 hours of my day are 100% laser focused on inviting, on following up, on adding contacts, and doing the things that are going to exponentially move my business forward so that when those children walk through the door, we can have lunch, we can maybe take an afternoon swim, and I can be present for that time with them. It is about saying quality over quantity. It is about identifying the excuses that are stealing your time. And wherever you are, you have got to be all there. Life balance is not about a 50-50 split. It's about being 100% present. And that is a Christy Wright quote. And so what I want to say to you guys today is, what excuses are you giving? What excuses of the things that I talked about today are you giving yourself for why your business isn't moving forward or why your business is stalling? I know you're all using them, and you've got to stop them and realign and get very clear on where the direction is that you're going and what you want to accomplish. And with that being said, guys, if you can make this your focus, if you can take these 5 things, right, and start delegating, identifying your priorities, if you can realize that not everything is important, if you can not let other people steal your time, I guarantee you, you are going to begin to see a change in the way that your business grows. All right, so let's just take a few moments and let's answer a few questions. So Brandy, how do you auto schedule things for a week, right? I don't auto schedule my Facebook post. My social media happens as it happens. But my challenge group posts, right? My posts that go out every single day, I use a challenge tracker app that allows me to auto schedule. I have a script that I've created. You know, I created that script forever ago, and every once in a while I revamp it and I give it some new life, or maybe I make some new videos for it, but I can auto schedule that. That's not something that I need to real time be sitting there to do. It goes off at 7 a.m. and then I engage with those people during that business time. If you have a Facebook business page, you can schedule your posts. You know what your theme is going to be for the week. You know what the objective is that you're going for, whether it's getting people signed up for an opportunity or a support group or accountability group, or it's a certain sale or a certain product. You know what your objective is for the week because you're a business owner and you are not just winging it. You're not just flying by the seat of your pants, but every week you're sitting down and you're saying to yourself, what's my objective for the week? Now let's make sure that I have those things in line. Those priorities are in line with my objectives. All right, so that's what you want to consider, Brandy, in this process. Bethany, how do you compartmentalize so you can successfully do a laser focused hour? You have to catch yourself, right? So you set the timer on your phone for an hour. You close out all the windows except for the one thing you're working on. So if you have your phone on and your text messages are blinging, your emails are blinging, your Facebook Messenger is binging at you, you're going to be distracted. But if you only have your email open and you work through your email, that's the only thing you're focused on. So you create that workspace. You put a sign on the door that says, you know, give me an hour. At 1 o'clock, I'm free, right? You have to create that space for yourself. And then when the squirrel starts to happen, because it happens to us all, you have to just become disciplined. Discipline happens through practice. It's just like your nutrition, right? Did you have to consciously say, don't put the goldfish in my mouth? And sometimes maybe you got it in your mouth and you had to spit it out, right? Or maybe you did make a bad choice and then after the fact you didn't like the way you felt after you made that bad choice. And so it is through practice that you refine and become better at compartmentalizing and staying focused on that goal. All right, so that is one thing that I will tell you about that has really helped me in that area. Bethany, do you feel like fear is a direct correlation to excuses? Yes. Yes, I think that people make excuses and they're fearful. You know, people are afraid to fail. People are afraid to build a team. People are afraid that somebody's going to unfriend them. And so it's just easier to keep pushing off those things because you're fearful of the outcome. But the more that you do things that you're afraid of and you realize, oh, I actually got much better positive feedback on that post. I was so afraid to post about the business and I got a new coach out of it, right? Or I was so afraid to post my transformation story, but I inspired somebody to start working out today. And so what does it do? It elevates your confidence. You begin to build your confidence, your fear begins to go down. The more positive things the feedback that you get, the more that you become relentless, the more you see the process. But if you live in fear your entire life, you're never going to take that leap. Every single thing I've ever done in my business, I have done before I felt qualified or prepared to do. I have leapt and I have just built my wings on the way down. Because I know that if I wait for something to be perfect, it will never happen. I will miss the opportunity. I will miss the time. And let's face it, perfection is not reality, right? Everything that we do in life, we do before we're ready to do it. All right. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, Melissa. Spit it out. I needed this. This is perfect. I'm pushing more than ever. I'm so confident. Yes, just a jump. Just jump. You can do this. You can do it. All right. What else? Any other questions that you have for me? I'd be happy to answer. But if you found that this was helpful, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to publish this. I always put them on my YouTube channel, and I have a section, a playlist. It's called Business Tip Tuesday. You're always welcome to share these videos after the fact. I always love to get just your feedback on the things that you would like me to talk about in up and coming weeks. So if you have a topic or you have a suggestion for me or something you want to hear about, please feel free to send me an email at mjmitro@gmail.com. Just put Business Tip Tuesday ideas in there, and make sure you go visit my blog, melaniemitro.com, subscribe, and stay up to date with all of the new things that are coming out. All right. So with that being said, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And Stephanie, how do I handle coaches on your team who keep making excuses? You got to call them on it. You got to say to people, you know, do you feel like you're making an excuse? Are you afraid? You know, and you want to say, you know, I know that your goal is to get to Success Club or leave a job. Do you feel like your actions are helping you to get closer to that goal or further away from that goal? I think that's one thing that you want to say. And the last thing is, if you notice somebody's making excuses, just ask them if their goals have changed. Because at the rate they're going, by what you can see, they're not likely to accomplish that goal because their actions are not in line with the goal that they want to accomplish. All right, so that's how I would handle that situation. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you guys back here next week. Bye, everybody.